Welcome to the ongoing saga of EVE Online sound effects. I'm Major Freak. My motivation for sound effects is to be more immersive, enjoy the game, and not disable sound entirely. The intention has always been to make the sound that I can standardize it, that each character has the same sound effect settings. And also, the primary motivation is to hear ships, cargo scanning, or ship scanning, or at the time I understood any scanning. I didn't think there was a difference between the two, ship scanning and cargo scanning mechanics. But over the last annoying 5 videos, the subject is highly frustrating. I've discovered that the mechanics are different between ship scanning and cargo scanning. Well, we knew the effects were, but the special effects were as well. So I've also come to realize that my obsession with cargo scanning blinded me to the fact that inactive client muting was absolutely hands down muting this client, the active client, this one. If I left this client, this would become inactive, and that's what the settings meant. Obviously, common sense, of course, but at the same time, I had these obsessions, so I had these contradictory things, and delving into this helped me understand it. So I have one dedicated hauler client. This client is a dedicated hauler, and its settings are exactly like for everything else, except I have I've toggled off the muting for, or should I say, when the default is everything's off in the first place. I haven't turned on the modules muting that I have done for all the rest, and I'll show you an example of this one. So the differences are, for this one client right here is the one anomalous difference between my standardization. I love it being standard, so it's so easy when I delete the cache folder in local thing, the EVE CCP, and I delete all of it. The benefits don't really outweigh the negative. You got to start all over again, but it's nice to start all over again. It allows me to appreciate the way noobs have to play this game. It makes me appreciate the way I used to have to play this game. For the most part, there's a lot of things that changed, but you feel like a noob every day. You learn something new every day. So I'm starting to alter each character's sound effects, and especially modules is ship effects. Ship effects is hearing the cargo scanner. Unfortunately, you have to be right next to your vision has to be right next to the transmitter for you to be able to hear survey scans and ship scans, literally. So that means you have to be Johnny on the spot and looking at sinuses. They like to use sinuses at gates and stuff for scanning. And it's, the time you actually, these people are experienced and fast, and they're just going to do it before you realize it, and by the time you're able to click on them and look at them, they've already ship scanned you, or most likely cargo scanned you. And if you're looking away from your ship, you're not going to hear the cargo scanner, because your vision has to be right close, zoomed in on your ship to be able to hear the cargo scan. And the visual effect for cargo scanning at range, when it's, you're at 15 kilometers from the gate and the person's right on the gate, they're going to be, 15 clicks from you, and the visual effect is so faint you really can't spot it. Well, I'm sure I'd be able to spot it if I was looking for it. But if I'm really close in trying to hear it, I'm not going to be able to see it most times. So you can definitely hear it, always hear it, as long as you're really close in on your ship. That means you don't have situational awareness of, say, maybe you need to cloak your rider as you're warping because there are a whole bunch of tornadoes at range, and you just, when you're looking at only jump gates on your overview, you're not spotting them. So that takes away situational awareness. But yeah, so I've not muted, because when I leave this client, I am in another client, or I'm browsing the internet, I can hear that ship scan, and I go, uh-oh, I better start being careful here, not being AFK, start paying attention, because, they do it a lot, but being ship scanned increases your chances of being ganked, obviously, because people are out and about and active, and, don't want to be in tornado alley when you're not paying attention, right? And they're being active. So all this stuff is standard for all my guys, except I'm going to start lowering something I don't want to lower. Annoying, actually. You'd be surprised. You get that annoying uncloaking sound. When you're jump and you appear in the next system, you'll get the annoying cloaking sound enabling as you load system, and then the annoying sound of it uncloaking when you're warping. When you're clustered together and hitting the survey scanner, you get that warbles of the survey scanners all together, the cacophony. You get the really annoying upwell sounds in the exterior. They are not, of course, discovered last video, that they're not external station sounds. They're ship effects, and in the muting, they're modules. So what I did was I muted my ship effects when I'm not in this client, for everybody except, of course, as I just mentioned, the hauler. So I muted it. As you can tell, I'll switch. Can you hear that fade in and fade out? Alright. So when I'm tethered and waiting for trigger Labians to show up so I can test my latest iteration of my prospector team. Bonus, I can dock up if they get targeted, but so far they haven't been. Anyways, I digress. What I'm going to do is, I don't need to hear any of these sounds. Really, the remote repping you're hearing right now, that bzzz, that's also, and command burst, the explosion sound every time. None of this is critical to me to hear, except on my hauler, because I want to hear that cargo scanner. So I am lowering this to 10. On all my characters, except, of course, my hauler, which I'll most likely be tempted to leave at 50, because when you're close in, you can hear the cargo scanner, and I don't need to increase it, because that's really annoying. So, all right. So audio. Oh, and by the way, I'll be doing a hotkeys video. I'm using the number key for a bunch of really cool options in shortcuts. Effects down to 10. Yeah, SoundCloud there. Every once in a while it remembers that it's got a playlist it wants to play for me. It's pretty funny. Wow. A reminder that not just CCP has problems with its coding. Or maybe we could just all blame Bill Gates, eh? Alright, so, alright, done. We're doing audio. Shush. Okay, so, there it is. Now, watch this. So this is the same. I haven't changed anything since we started the video, right? Okay.
Docking request accepted.
Hear that? Peaceful, isn't it? No more bzzz. No more command bursts, explosions. I can hear stuff now. Wow. And all the stuff I want to hear is still enabled. The stuff I don't want to hear is disabled. Here comes command burst. Perfect. Nice, peaceful. Nice. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting to a point where I'm actually really liking the sound effects, that we can actually get this working for us. Now, once I've got it fine-tuned, what I'd like to do is reset one of my clients and see what the default audio was. And with that enabled, convince CCP to do some changes, because they're sorely needed. Changes to the default settings, I'm sure, is one of the easiest things they can code. And I'm sure they'd be interested in changing it, although, you know, Icelanders know best. So, yeah, and I don't sugarcoat things, so I don't think if anybody in power hears anything, they'd be interested in listening to me. I don't kiss their ass. So, yeah, I hope you find this interesting and helpful in making the sound effects, or even tempt you to enable sound again, because I know the vast majority of you don't use sound at all.